So we're going to transition now into kind of a closing session, and all the folks who are currently in the call, you're welcome to stick around. You're welcome to take off if you need to get on with your stuff. And what we're going to do is, I don't think this is going to work. It may work. We'll see. But we're going to try to do kind of a town hall type thing. And a lot of you have been participating in programming for the last couple of days. What we really want to do is invite people, if you'd like to join, be moved up from attendee and kind of come into the speaker's room. What we're looking for are feelings. We're looking for reactions. When we did this conference, we always get together and we'd call it our feeling session. And we just talk about what we thought about our last couple of days. You know, what do we hear? How do we draw some connections? How do we think about some next steps? And it's really an open forum to sort of reflect on the last couple of days, and to also think a little bit about and talk a little bit about the mechanics of this. You know, we again, this is an in-person event that we had to take online. Obviously some real challenges in taking this stuff online. Maybe some things kind of went better, you know, especially people not having to get on an airplane and fly to Washington, D.C. and be able to be still part of your life. So we're going to do feelings for about 25 minutes. And again, you know, Derek and Mira, everybody, you're welcome to stick around. You're welcome to take off whatever you guys want to do. And if you want to be part of this, Kate, turn your camera on. Danny, turn your camera on. Anybody else who wants to join, raise your hand and we'll put you into this thing. And let's just kind of kick it around for a while. Then in about 20 minutes, we are going to shift back over to the other Zoom room. Anybody that wants to do happy hour, we're going to do the happy hour thing, similar to what we did last night, and just do some socializing in smaller groups and just kind of share. So I see a bunch of hands coming up. So Alex and Paulus are going to put some folks into the room. Everybody try to keep your comments a little bit short, just because we've got about 20 minutes for this thing. And let's just open it up. So I see Jamie Duffy's in here. So why don't we, Jamie, you were part of the opening of the conference, and you were very helpful in helping put this session together. Thank you so much for that. So let's start with some feelings from Jamie Duffy.
Oh my, okay. Yeah, my feeling is I texted Michael last night and said, I think this is the first time during COVID that I felt like I really missed people. And I'm realizing what a beautiful community this is, and for how many years we've all been philosophizing about this together and then going and putting these things into action in our community. So my feeling truly is I'm taking the next week off, but I kind of don't want to now. I'm feeling really energized, thinking there's a lot of opportunity ahead of us. I always feel energized when we sort of end with youth voice. But really, I know sometimes we can come away from these things going, like, what do we do now? Because we're all doing such incredible work in our communities. But I am seeing more connections and more synergies, and it just seems like things are really aligning while the tent is getting bigger. So there are new people here, right? So I'm just feeling really hopeful and really intentional about what follow-up is going to look like for the next year. So yeah.
Awesome.
Short and sweet.
Thank you, Jamie. Let's see, who else has got some? Kate, you have anything that you want to contribute? If you mind me putting you on the spot.
Well, yes, as I'm eating my carrots. Thank you, Michael.
I was waiting for the carrot time. Mm-hmm.
This has been fantastic. You know, we didn't know how it would go as we headed into it. And it has been so great to have everyone stick with it all the way through. Got lots of great emails last night about people canceling meetings because they couldn't take their eyes off the screen. Really, really wonderful. So, and what everyone has brought to this has just been phenomenal. And we actually have it recorded, which is also an interesting, an interesting piece, that we now have these recordings for people who couldn't make it today or who couldn't cancel their meetings or things like that. Really, really tremendous. So all of you have been fantastic. And I just want to say thank you and salute Alex Dolvin and Paulus Petrovics for making this whole thing work. Nice job on the back end, you two. And thank you all for joining us. That's really what I've got, Michael.
Thank you, Kate. Thank you. I just threw into the chat. We really we always value feedback. Please, feedback, suggestions. We always say, very kindly worded constructive criticism, because we're all a bunch of snowflakes that don't want to be yelled at. But musicpolicyforum@gmail.com if you have some stuff you'd like to share offline. Jerry Everend, welcome. Some feelings from Jerry.
Jerry, you're muted if you're trying to speak. We're not hearing you. That's Jerry Everard, yes. Commissioner in Seattle, Washington, who's been with us the whole time. And there he is.
Oh, hi. I didn't realize I was going to be called on. Maybe I accidentally raised my hand, but thanks.
Oh, you accidentally raised your hand. Okay. Well,
apparently.
Do you have anything you'd like to share, Jerry? Because we've got others.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like Kate said, I've been here the whole time, and found it extremely informative. I, like many other people, thought I would sign on and sort of, fade in and out but I was constantly engaged. I liked the wide variety of things that you had. And, even the nerd panels or the wonky panels were even engaging. So thank you for putting it on, and I'm definitely leaving inspired. So
that's awesome. Thank you, Jerry. I appreciate it. Let's see, who else has got some feelings? Ashley Keaton had her hand up, but she's off screen. Ashley, are you running back there, or should we go? Danny Grant wants to go. Danny.
I haven't watched this much screen time except for the train wreck of our election and all of the awful politics we've been watching. And, and I've spent so much time crying about the protests and that kind of thing. And so for me, watching this screen with so many uplifting, positive things has been so wonderful. But I do also have some feelings of overwhelmness and that there's so much to do. And I'm such an empath. I have all these mixed feelings about how do we engage more people. And it's such a moment to really get motivated and get going. And I'm a better blocker and tackler than I am at a presenting opportunity. And so I'm just thinking, what can we do with all of this content, and how can we turn it into action items and get other people involved and that kind of stuff. So that's where I'm going to focus all my energy after this thing. So thank you so much for being here. This has been very special.
Oh, no, God. Thanks to everybody, right? World Music Development. I don't know who is behind the World Music Development name. This is going to be a big reveal.
It's me, Sam. Hi, everyone. I love the entire 2 days. I was one of them that was glued to the screen. 2 days. Danny, I wanted to thank you for always keeping me in the loop as far as I talked to some of you guys yesterday. I'm very isolated where I'm at, in the rural area. One of the things, and this was during one of the break-off sessions that we had earlier today that I mentioned to Kate, that I wanted to really, music advocacy in rural area, it's a lot different than what you see in urban, in the city setting and everything. And that's not even COVID. Pre-COVID, that was even a challenging thing. Now put COVID on top of it and even more challenging. So I'd love to continue conversations with some of you and learn more about that. As far as, again, all of this kind of work that you guys are doing, how can I bring that to our small rural community in the mountains? But thank you all again for the fantastic discussions. Yeah, when you put meaningful, powerful, engaging conversations together, people aren't going to turn off the screen,
Thank you, Sam. That's really kind. And Hakeem, it's good to see you. I'm also excited that now I think I'm a little bit more allowed to talk shit about our football team. So that my football team is not completely racist. I mean, now that we're just the generic Washington football team, we can have that side NFC East chatter. But anyway, thanks.
That is, Michael, that is the only good news coming from the NFC East is the changing of your team's name. This has been amazing, Michael, and I want to tip my hat to you. Like everyone has stated, even in my own personal busyness and all of our personal busyness, have found it hard to pull away from the sessions, even the ones I'm not speaking at, right? And it's been really, it's been phenomenal. I think the star power, the intellectual power that's able to be brought together, and this shout out to the MPF advisory board and, to Paulus and Alex, the team who've made it happen. But, imagine what we could do with the right amount of time and not being in a pandemic, right? And so I just feel like people were able to plug in where they're at. I think we got some more involvement, not just from participants who were following, but from speakers because of the format. And as we've been talking about for months with the industry, with respect to the industry, like this is just what the future is going to look like moving forward. And we're kind of a step ahead of the game. I will say, good thing we aren't all in DC, because apparently DC can't do anything right in the next 61 days or whatever it is. So thanks for sparing us having to come there and be sullied by that. So shout out to you guys, and just thank you everyone who shared their visions and dreams for our industry, because if there's ever a time to make it happen, now is the time. It's a blank canvas. So how do we not rebuild, but build back better, as Michael said. So thank you.
No. Akeem, thank you so much for that. And again, we said this earlier, but this whole program really was designed by the Music Policy Forum Board, and people spend a lot of time thinking about how to frame this, what are the right questions, what are the right perspectives, how do we want to do this? And, Akeem was a huge part of that, and I just have so much appreciation for that. Joel Pomerantz is with us. Joel has probably been to more of these DC events than any other human being, except for the people who put them on. Going back a long time. What would you like to share, Joel? Joel, I'm sorry. Yeah, your internet's not working. That's too bad. Why don't we bring in Mira McLaughlin? Mira, are you, or while we're bringing Mira in, Ash, did you have something that you wanted to say? Your hand was up. Nope, she's good. Nope. Nothing to say. Oh, there she is. Hey, Mira. Let's see. Mira, if you're trying to talk, you're muted.
Oh, there. Sorry.
There you are. No problem.
Two steps. Yeah, amazing. Like I was gushing at you yesterday before you were this tired. Like you've been an Iron Man, Kate, Gwende, Danny, everybody that put this together, huge credit. I'm excited. As I was watching this, I was like, I want all of my elected city leaders and even state leaders to be watching these sessions. And I'm excited about hearing that there've been a lot of elected folks on this, hearing this stuff. I think that the degree to which we can continue to program these conversations in a way that faces them and engages them and compels them to participate, I think we can change hearts and minds. I also loved the genuine equity thread that went through so many of these conversations, and Stefan's comment about music as a path to liberation. I totally believe it. We're doing a bunch of stuff here. And I love the Zoom sessions. I think more people are able to engage. You can do those recorded things. It's all great, but I want in-person cocktail hours. Can we make that happen?
You got our board pegged. There you go, Mira. Yeah, no, thank you for those comments, and yeah, and I thought your session, I had so many comments about the session that you and Ashley and Chris did yesterday. I just thought that was really exciting, and I do think, we talked about this over the last couple of days, but I actually owe a lot of gratitude to Gigi Johnson. Before COVID, Gigi had been really pushing me to do Zoom and to get more into these platforms, and I was kind of reluctant. I'm a little bit of a Luddite, and I'm like, no, I like in person, and meow meow meow, and clearly, what we're seeing is these types of platforms allow us to have the type of collaborative conversations that you just can't do on conference calls, and And frankly, I think for a lot of us, the in-person stuff is incredibly valuable, and we're going to do that. But a lot of people are introverted, right? I mean, I think about when I'm at our conference, it's hard to go up and talk to people. I mean, it's not something that is an easy thing to do. And so, Zoom, again, is not a perfect solution, but the ability to, again, we think about just the power of Ella Project, Listen to Local First in Music Portland, that was modeled yesterday in that conversation. And you think about extrapolating that out to all the other sort of organizing efforts that are happening across the world. It's pretty exciting to think about. Now Keith wants to talk.
Now I want to say something. Sorry. So for those of you who lasted all day yesterday, at the end of our conversation, I think the last question I asked was how many of your respective cities had imposed a requirement for musicians to seek permits for porch concerts. And all of you were like, well, that's just fucking crazy. And no response, like that's happening. Guess what? This morning, I got with the Department of Health, Safety and Permits and the mayor's office after the meeting with the mayor thing last night, and they're getting rid of the permit. So that's a testament to this group. That's a testament. I mean, it's in New Orleans time, that's like light year speed. So I'm just saying, woo, done.
Good job. Anna.
Yeah, thanks. Michael, I have witnessed you lead conferences for well over a decade, and truly you were the guiding force in this. And what I want to say, and I've heard this in many of the panels that came up, like this is helping us be resilient. And I think that was just really exciting, and to build a community. And now Ashley, like right there, we already see a reaction to this. And I would just say, let's keep this up. And we really do need to thank you, Michael, because as many of us were going, oh, I don't know if people can do 2 days of Zoom. You proved us wrong. So I am so glad you proved us wrong. I am happy.
Y'all have no idea what crazy ideas the board talked me out of. So we were going to do 2 days of small group rotating meow. It was really not going to happen. So, but this was great. And I should have, that's really smart for me to end the conference with, let's have a session where people tell me how great I am. So that's my family is hoping is happening. So I appreciate that. No, I mean, it's, we do this work because we care about it, right? I mean, there's no money in it. I mean, we're not, doing it for economic reasons. We're doing this because this is stuff that we all are passionate about. And, I am unbelievably blessed that I've been able to do this for 20 years and be inspired by all these people, and you all are my best friends, right? I mean, these are the people that I enjoy spending time with, that, that challenge us, that give us ideas and hope and inspiration. And again, I think I think all of us are going to unplug, right? I mean, after cocktail hour, we're going to unplug, we're going to get through whatever version of Thanksgiving is going to be, for all of us this year. And we're going to hit it really hard in December. We have a lot of really important decisions to make. As a field, as people who live in this country, as people who don't live in this country, obviously, we're going to have to be very thoughtful about our priorities and where we put our energy and our time and our capacity, because we can't do it all. Burnout is a real thing, right? I mean, you can't, and one of the things we've been talking about internally this year is like, punk rock is fun, but punk rock gets you so far, and ultimately, if you're passionate about what you're doing and you care about it, you've got to build the resources and the capacity around it. So you can do this work and sustain it. And one of the real reasons that we started Music Policy Forum 5 years ago, very intentionally, and I hope that this came through in the sessions this week, is that we need to think about this work as a field, right? We got to think about this as a field that is growing. And one of the sort of, downsides or things that's always concerning when I, during my 15 years of Future Music Coalition, was the fact that there aren't jobs in this field, right? I mean, there are not positions. I mean, some people have jobs in this field, but, most people who do this work do it as volunteer, or they do it, underpaid or under-resourced. And when you think about all the incredible, passionate, smart, connected, inspirational people that want to do this work, we have an obligation to really think about over the next decade, what does this look like to build the capacity, to build out the jobs, to get the funding together so people can do this, and then we can really grow. So I think I think we've heard from everybody who wanted to check in, and that was really great. So thank you for doing that. That worked well.